Hello, thank you for joining us today. My name is Cameron, and today we're going to be looking at the PR-101α, which is a portable benchtop unit of ours here at ATAGO. So this will be kind of about what our portable benchtops represent, feature, but mainly through the PR-101α, which is quite versatile, which we'll get into a little bit here, but I feel like this unit right here has the most potential to kind of span across many different applications, many different industries, so lots of potential here regardless of what you're dealing with. So we will be looking at that unit. You might notice here we have another digital handheld, so this is more of a kind of a traditional digital style. This is the PAL-1. We'll be going over a couple differences with those two, but mainly I just want to highlight what sort of advantages you'll be seeing with this, and we'll dive into a few measurements and see the general design and whatnot. So if we can actually zoom in, I want to give you guys a good look at the layout of the model here to see kind of what sets it apart. So you will see that even though this is technically a benchtop, a portable benchtop unit, it's not too much bigger. So our digital handhelds like this, they're around 100 grams, fit nicely in your hand, real compact. This is actually not a ton bigger, so if you are looking for that nice mobility, compact nature in a benchtop, which is going to be higher accuracy, and that's something I really want to highlight well here today, is the high accuracy of this unit. This is a great alternative for you. So we can see, similar to this, we have a sample stage and the prism right in the center there. So that is basically where all the magic is happening. You are generating that refraction to get your bricks reading. And that is what the measurement scale deals with this unit, is bricks specifically. I should note that in the instruction manual that you will receive with the unit, there is actually a conversion table, so you can see what a refractive index reading would correlate to in terms of bricks. So really handy tool there if you're historically using those RI measurements. So regarding the design, once more, very similar there. We have a slightly larger sample stage. You really don't need much sample volume. We'll get a good look at that in a moment, but just around 0.3 milliliters should do the trick. Scooting over a little bit, obviously we have the LCD screen. This is going to display a digital measurement, so no need to look through a lens or anything, no subjectivity. You are going to get that percent represented there. I will quickly power on the unit here, but you are going to be seeing a range, sorry, there we go, a range of 0 to 45% on that brick scale, and it will be displayed in a matter-of-fact fashion right there for you. So hopefully we can check that out real time in a little bit here. Other than that, we do have the standard start button, which powers the unit on and off, and we have a 0 and a scale button here. So the 0 is pretty self-explanatory if you've seen any of our other meetups or used our instruments. This is for getting our 0 setting, or the ground 0 established, so to speak. And we have the scale button here. This is another really nifty feature of this instrument, and if you are kind of wavering between a handheld and a portable benchtop, this is something that you might want to consider, because it is going to give you the ability to set your coefficient or add or subtract values from the readouts. I'll kind of show you firsthand in just a minute here, but really simple design. So just have those 3 buttons to worry about. You can push them in a couple different ways to generate a couple different not readings, but just functions rather. I'm going to flip the unit over here. We can see right here is where the battery case cap is going. So all you're going to need for this to power the instrument is one D-sized battery. So that's all you need No need to plug in, convert, anything like that. So really simple in that regard. Do want to just mention here, if you want to make sure that this is sealed nice and tight. If sample goes inside, it can affect the internal components, so always good to check on the status of that. And when we're troubleshooting, it's first thing we want to do is replace that battery, so good to keep that in mind. But really quite simple. You can notice a nice sample stage there, easy to clean off in an efficient manner, and because this unit is actually IP65, which stands for ingress protection, you will be able to run this part under running water and get that sample off nice and easily. So nice. It's not entirely waterproof, but you can easily kind of subject this to a watery environment for short periods of time and not worry too much about it. So as we can see, pretty simple, nice, sleek design, not too large. So a really nice alternative if you're looking for something that's a little bit higher accuracy. So again, with the PAL, like this unit here, for example, the PAL-1, you're actually going to see twice the accuracy, so to speak. So we're going to be at 0.1% plus or minus for the bricks here. So really high accuracy. Can't get much better than that, especially given the size of this. So really nice alternative to some digital handhelds for that particular reason. So I did want to give you guys a look at the instrument up close for some measurements here. So again, just want to reiterate this particular unit because it is covering a range of 0 to 45% bricks. You are going to have just a ton of flexibility in terms of sample type. So whether you're looking at a cleaning solution or a sauce or some sort of beverage, this really kind of covers a lot of ground. So I want to give you guys exposure to a couple samples here. So quickly zoom in here. So first thing I'm going to do is make sure our unit is powered on there. We are seeing that LLL come up. So this is actually indicating that we have insufficient sample volume. Normally a cause for concern, but because we are not actively measuring anything, that is a good sign. And one thing I did want to mention as well is we are featuring ATC, or automatic temperature compensation, with this unit. So really nice feature. You'll be able to take those readings and not have to manually adjust based on the temperature of the sample. So first thing I'm going to do is make sure the unit is properly 0 set. So all you need is tap water, just a little bit, make sure the prism is covered. I'm going to go ahead and hit 0. And we can see those 3 zeros pop up right away, super quick. Now we have our ground 0 set, so to speak. If I go ahead and hit start to measure it, we are producing that 0.0% bricks reading, which is perfect. When you're cleaning the sample stage, I would recommend using a lint-free wipe. There are several types out there, but the main thing is you want to just go ahead and get that sample off in a way that will not scratch the prism. So that's a great option, is those lint-free wipes. So first thing I want to take a look at is something we see pretty frequently in whether it's an industrial wash solution or a cleaning solution. I can go ahead and just take a look here. So right now we have some window washing solution. which theoretically should fall right in our range of 0 to 45% bricks. We are seeing that the unit has been 0 set already, and you'll notice just how quick that was. Very fast to get that 0.8%. I do want to note that we are on a non-special scale right now, so we're just getting a very literal representation of what the sample contains. So that is very nice repeatability there, 0.8 3 times in a row for our window washing solution. So just going back to the ATC, automatic temperature compensation, if your sample is within 5 to 40 degrees Celsius, this unit will actively compensate and give you the right bricks reading. So really cool kind of internal processing that's going on with that. I do want to note, however, if you have a very large difference between the unit temperature and the sample temperature, even if it is in that range, you do want to be careful. It can take about 30 seconds for the unit to acclimate. So in those situations, it's best to apply the sample and let it sit for probably 30 plus seconds before you get that measurement. So just gonna make sure we're completely devoid of any contaminants here. And here we have just some generic mouthwash, which again, very different product type, but could fall right in our bounds here. So we'll hit that start button, make sure we're good. We really don't need much at all. So I'm not entirely clean with my application here, but we can see that the prism is covered. Go ahead and hit start. And we're right at 4.5% bricks. We can see we're actually getting full here, which means that our NFC, I have not mentioned our NFC data yet, but this feature is going to store data for you, which is really nice. It gives you the ability to kind of review your past measurements. So with that, you are able to kind of upload to a application, send, review however you like. There are many different application types that will give you the ability to review that. But I do want to note, if you take too many measurements, you're going to have to clear the data. So something to keep in mind there. So we're at 0.8 for one cleaning solution, 4.5. I did want to show you guys just all of the sort of versatility of this instrument, but going up to all the way up to 45%. You know, we have hot sauces. You could look at different soup types, bunch of different dissolved solids within different samples will get you those readings on this unit, and that's going to come at a accuracy level of plus or minus 0.1%. So in a minute we'll see if we can get that NFC cleared so we can take another measurement. I do want to show you guys the scale feature, since we that's actually a really nice quality of this instrument. So because we were not dealing with any special scale, I just had it set to scale 1. We can see here that there are two little lines on the side of that 1. So that means that we've unlocked the scale and we can kind of modify as needed. What that means is we can apply a coefficient. So basically we can multiply a value by X amount. The reason that you would do this in most cases is if you're using titration, you've historically used titration and you're looking to match those values. So for example, if you are 8% higher on a consistent basis with this instrument versus what you've seen in titration, what we can do is modify that coefficient to represent the sample readout that you are anticipating. That is usually when it comes into play. You can also subtract or add a specific value as well. So just going back to that scale here, if I'm going to scale and I want scale 1 here, I can make sure it's unlocked first, and then we're going to hold both of these down together, 0 and start. I'm sorry, 0 and scale rather. Let's try this. Hopefully it's visual. Let's get back to our scale section here. Alright, we may have to clear our NFC to proceed here. So I will quickly see what we have. In the meantime, I'm going to actually show you guys a visual of what that NFC looks like. So if we can get a cell phone held up here, I can actually show you just a standard app. This one is NFC Tools, but there are many out there that you can get to kind of review your data there. So all you're going to need to do is hold it up to the NFC. There's a little visual indicator there. All you're going to need to do for that is hold it up there, and you will get those readings. So one more time here, make sure the unit is powered on. Hold it right up to there, and we've got our readout. So from there, you can go ahead and look through. There's, it's going to give you a date. It'll give you time that the measurement was taken, and with other applications, you can kind of dive into it a little bit more. But super simple. No need to hook up Bluetooth or anything like that. So I should probably give you guys a glimpse at the NFC clearing function here. And this unit will store up to 100 measurements, so once you do hit that full mark, you want to go ahead and clear that. So in hitting these start and 0, I was able to generate this, and we can go ahead and hit Y for yes. It has been deleted. So from this point forth, should be able to return to our measurements. We are on that first scale there. Still, I want to show you guys the scales one more time, but we'll quickly take, so this is going to be some hot sauce. We don't need much at all. I did want to mention that because there is some confusion out there about bricks and what kind of the measurements entail, really this is going to look at the the contents of sucrose in an aqueous solution. However, you are going to have to factor in other dissolved solids using these measurement principles. So something to keep in mind, just especially in cases like this where you have a hot sauce, there's many different things going on, competing acids, sugars, whatnot. So that is going to be reflected. We do see we're at 10.5. I'm not sure if that's how visible that is. We're on our first scale, 10.5 again, so great repeatability. And we are seeing at that 20.1 Celsius temperature. So again, just a great display of accuracy and repeatability with this instrument. So as we can see, different cleaning solutions, hot sauces, if I were to apply a beverage, all of that would be covered quite easily by this instrument. I want to quickly go back to our scales here so you guys have a good idea. It is quite simple, just with a couple buttons. To basically set it exactly how you like. Make sure our sample stage is clear for any upcoming measurements. And again, if you have access to running water, it makes this even, I mean, that was just took a few seconds, but it makes it even easier with that IP65. Just stick it right under running water, no problem. So if I get our unit powered on, we can see that we are already on scale 1 and it has been unlocked, which means we can modify that scale as we like. So if I hold 0 from here, make sure we get our scale 1. We did see an AAA come up, so that's going to indicate that you have a 0 setting error, which is actually a good sign. It means that the unit is picking up that we don't have tap water on the unit itself. So if I select that, try one more here. I believe 3 has been selected. And there we go. By holding 0 after it has been selected, we do see that little B come up. And so this basically means we can set and add value to any readout that is generated. So if I'm okay with that, I would hit start, but I want to maybe see if we can subtract. So for that, I'm going to hit start here, and here we get to tell the instrument how much we want to subtract, what value. So from there, you basically just remember that you're using 0 to kind of alter the value. Start is going to be the enter equivalent to put that in, right? So if I want to, just for example, subtract 2 from the value that would be normally generated, I can go ahead and hit start, start, start. And this here is going to be the coefficient. I think we're okay on that. So now, with that scale, scale 3, we're going to be basically subtracting 2 from our value. See how this does for us. And again, don't need much at all, 0.3 milliliters. That's all we need to cover that prism. And that is what we're looking for, right? So basically the readout of 10.3 is coming out to 8.3 now, so that we can match are values seen in titration or otherwise. Okay, so nice repeatability there. It's doing exactly what we like. So that's a really neat feature of these portable benchtops, along with the high accuracy and that wide bricks range. So if there are any questions, I'd love to open it up. Did want to just reiterate here, so you're going to see a lot of overlap between these two. So this is PAL1, for example, also does come with NFC and a similar bricks range. However, if you are looking for those user scales, modifiable user scales, and bumping up that accuracy level, this is a great option. And we can see it's just quite compact and portable, so really nice feature there. So I think that about does it for us here. I should mention that next week we will have a meetup at the same time here. I do believe that it still has to be established what unit we are focusing on next week, but we have a couple things in mind, so if there are any recommendations or particular questions, please reach out. We're likely going with a yogurt measuring topic next week, so that will be at 10:30 Pacific Standard Time. I would like to open it up if there are any questions about the PR-101α or our portable benchtops. Looks like we're okay. Thank you so much for joining, guys. If you have any other questions, just reach out here at ATAGO USA. Thank you so much.